good as my humble self, the Deputy General Manager, Programs Division, the only division in ITV and Radio, Dr. Sonny Duke Okoso. The manager and current of ITV and Radio, Mr. Egosa Osamudame Abolao. The Assistant General Manager, News and Current Affairs. Thank you very much. We'd like to welcome the manager and me, Lady Juliet Isaac. Give her a round of applause. Mr. Emmanuel, we give him a round of applause. Assistant Manager at TV and Radio. Put your hands together for. Give us the manager, acting manager, accounts department, Mr. Fabi Olushola. Give him a round of applause. And I also like to recognize the ambassador, the one and only show. Sydney Shoka, AAPP. Applause. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have with us here a legal icon who has given his commitment to removing your press from the oppressors legally. Put your hands together. Journalist in Edo State, Chairman NUJ Edo State, Comrade Justice and his order. Minister, please applause. Please kindly pay close attention to the screen. We have a very vital information to share to you and with you on the impact of ITV and Radio. Control, please.
A brief history of independent television. Independent started during 7th of 2022 with its slogan, "Certainly the best." The zeal of the founding Sir Chancellor Gabriel Osawai Major culminated in the approval and subsequent presentation of a license by the former head of General Ibrahim Babangida on the 26th of June 1993. The raid came on the 10th of September 1998, crushed the heartbeat station on 93 Hz FM. I just started transmission on September 7, while ITV later started transmission on 2nd September 2024. And in December 2009, ITV was granted license for digital satellite broadcasting to enable the station being its television programs to viewers around the world. ITV can be viewed nationally on GoTV channel 140, StarTimes channel 130, and globally via our website on www.itvradio.ng. those in the region and has an extensive network of correspondents across more states in Nigeria, including Delta, Rivers, and our reach extends beyond Nigeria with a dedicated correspondent United Kingdom coverage, bring global perspectives with local relevance. Stay connected where you are by Itv 3-in-1 app or the Google Play Store. Enjoy seamless access to our news and educational programs on both television and radio, anytime, anywhere. The mission of ITV is to enlighten the masses with accurate information, delight esteemed viewers with sensational programs content, and educate the populace with current trends in all spheres of human endeavor. The value bring unbiased and unblemished information to the doorstep of every individual via terrestrial and satellite transmission. In appreciation of its impact, the station has won countless number of awards from different organizations across the country.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was hoping that we'll do better than that. To give the vision bearer, the man who saw tomorrow, the man who made it possible for you and I to be gathered here today. Please, let us rise to celebrate the summer of Benin. Put your hands together, Father.
Dear Chairman Emeritus, His Excellency, Sir Chief Dr. CFR, this Kingdom, and the founder of this platform, ably represented this morning by one of his illustrious sons, Honorable Charles, the keynote speaker, a mentor, a role model, Chief Lawson, Sir Chief Lawson of Mogadon. Right Honorable Bright of Mogadon, the former Speaker of the District Assembly. Our dear organized security agencies that we have in the house. My colleagues at management and IT. My dear brother, who now is my father. My dear sister, who now is my mother. My colleagues in IT, you celebrate you guys. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today I'm happy that my colleagues in ITV are the presidents who special recognition for you guys behind the camera. You know they always last in every event. Sometimes if there is no enough, they don't have any. But for us, I've just been planted to fresh. Please get. It is with deep sense of humility and pleasure that I stand before you today on the occasion of the 29th Founders Day of Independent Television and Radio, a station born out of vision, unshakable belief in 29 years ago, ITV as one of the 30 television in Nigeria and broadcasting was the exclusive preserve of government, even under military rule. Our dear founder, His Excellency Sergeant Dr. Gabriel Itv took a bold step to change the media landscape in Nigeria. I think he deserves a round of applause. ITV has grown into a most respected voice across the South, Nigeria, and beyond. The evolution has been tremendous, from analog to digital, from a single channel to a multi social media handles, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Society and promoter of our rich cultural heritage. We've covered elections. Thank God Kasim is here. We've covered elections and giving all parties equitable airtime. We have celebrated the coronation of kings and the achievements of ordinary people. We have projected our culture, language, and say in this a case of a promise made and a promise kept. We also recall the period when the station was shut by the then government of Edo State under our firebrand Senator and former Governor Comrade Adams Oshomole. That was a difficult period for the platform, but it was also a tested our commitment to professional journalism and the rule of law. We engaged, we explained, and we eventually returned to serve our audience. This moment reminds us that a free press will always face pressure, and that our duty is to remain fair, factual, and fearless. Today, we operate in a tough economic climate. Cost of energy, cost of equipment and operations have risen astronomically. Advertising budgets are shrinking annually. Our commitment to the public has not reduced. Our staff continue to show uncommon dedication, while our audience continue to show uncommon loyalty. On behalf of this platform, I say thank you for every staff of ITV and to all our audience, because they have kept us. We are not relenting. We resolve with intentionality to be among the best, not just in the sub-region, not just in Nigeria, but among the best in Africa. We will continue to invest in manpower, training and retraining, in technology and in content acquisition. We will deepen our digital presence so that wherever you go in the world, you are sure to have ITV with you. We will uphold the ethics of journalism, truth, balance and fairness. We will tell the Nigerian story with pride and accuracy. This has galvanized our resolve to, as part of our Founders Day and in strengthening our impact in the Nigerian media space, we will instigate this discussion on Project Nigeria. And 4 years down the line, this question has remained on our lips. Who values Nigeria? Where are we going? In the year 2025, we set the stage for the discussion. When we had Mr. Emeka Mbal, the former DG, National Broadcasting Commission, and Professor Sonny, the former Vice Chancellor of the Brussels University, on stage. And subsequently, we invited Mike Igini of I in the year 2024. Why Senator has on the same stage in the year 2020. This year's promises to be a most memorable outing as we unleash an unbeatable package. And in the ITV radio project, we look to our 30th year and beyond innovation as embracing new platforms, AI tools, and an audience-driven programming. On the people invested in our staff, the men and women who make the magic happen. And on partnership, working communities, government, business to build a better Nigeria. In conclusion, our deepest appreciation goes to our keynote speaker, Amazon, Dr. Loretta Oboro, with you almost immensely for your invaluable time. I can't end this without giving thanks to our founder, the Insama. I'll say to him, thank you for starting this journey. thank you for keeping it alive. To our viewers and listeners, thank you for staying with us for 29 years. Ultimately, our profound thanks goes to our Creator, the Almighty God. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the best of ITV and radio is not behind us. It is ahead of us. I will now my speech on this morning by paying very special tribute to some persons. We talk about the 27th of March, but some persons are in the hall that were there when the story, when the dream left the visionary stage, when the dream became the project, I was starting. Please, I want to step up. This is the moment. You are, please, you want the whole lot of honor and keeping the heart of all of the most of all will have a birth certificate. Please, is the body in this room? Birth certificate has the name of the midwife. Please, one house. Can those children sit quietly? Is the body in this room? On whose birth certificate is the name of the midwife? Or the name of the nurse? Or the name of the medical doctor that birthed, as those that were fortunate to have been birthed by medical doctors? But ITV, we have the presence of our midwives. We have the presence of our nurses. We have the presence of whose hands were used to send out the first signal. Please let's give them a standing ovation. Thank you very much, and to God be the glory.
Thank you very much, Digital MD. Can we appreciate our MD and, of course, our pioneer staff members who have been there over the years, and midwife nurtured ITV to where it is today, and they're still very, very much around. Let's put our hands together and appreciate it one more time. Thank you very much. I'd like to quickly acknowledge in our midst ACP Honor Emmanuel, representing the Edo State Commissioner of Police, CP Monday Agbonika. Please give him a round of applause. Thank you for your presence. Violet Olumese Esquire, she's the past year Edo State President. Please give her a round of applause. Also, the immediate past feedback and our Esquire, please give her a round of applause. Also like to recognize former Chief Medical Director, University of Benin Teaching Hospital, Benin City, Emeritus Professor Austin Obasoha. Please give him a round of applause. I'd like to acknowledge the Director of Administration, Federal Psychiatric Hospital, Benin, representing the Medical Director, Dr. Ambonile. Please welcome Regional College of Health Technology, Edwin Odessa. Announcement. If you're the owner of Black Nissan Pathfinder Jeep with written number Lagos LSD 40 GW, kindly park your car. Instructing an army officer. I will just make that your tires are being deflated. If you don't want to do from job afternoon, please kindly park your car. Thank you.
One of us. Where are we going? I'm asking this question to all of us now. Co-animals. Where are we going? Do we know where we are going? Do we know where we are going? Okay. Some say yes, others say no. It's all right. This gathering will not be complete until we hear from our Father, the man who saw tomorrow, the man who saw and beyond 29 years ago, ably represented here today by his son, Honorable Charles Igbeneghu. Please let's celebrate our Father. Let's celebrate him on the next year. Is a thing that
management and staff of Itv Radio, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to the 29th Father's Day and 4th annual lecture of Itv Radio and television. Our actual Father's Day is March 27th. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the point in this 29th Founders Day lecture series. If you have this card with you, it's actually not a meal ticket. It's not a meal ticket. It's the barcode for the program. We're now in the digital world. And so what you do, we'll have it on the screen. Focus on it, it will down automatically into you so you can follow the program. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going straight. A major part of this 29th Founders Day lecture series, I would like to invite our keynote speaker, is a former chairman governing council of University, AAU, the best state university in Nigeria. Please be together as I welcome off stage Sir Chief Lawson Omohodi. Keep clapping until he gets here. We can actually get him by starting to usher him off for the keynote address. Clapping. Keep clapping. Keep clapping. While our guys are remembering, we'll just read his citation. Sir Chief Lawson Omohodi, KSN, FIMC, MNIM, HCIB, an illustrious son of Edo State, was born on July 25, 1952. He is a graduate of the University of Lagos and University. Chief Omohodi also attended the Small Business Management Development Program at the University of England, Armidale, Australia. He was an executive director at All States Trust Bank and the managing director of Liberty Bank PLC. Chief Lawson Omohodi joined One Oil PLC as group sales venturing into ownership and Rich Soil Petroleum and Gas Limited. I thought you put it together. Among several other positions, Chief Omohodi was Pro Chancellor and Chairman Council of Ambrose Ali University, AAU Ekoma, a Knight of Saint Columba, and the Catholic Church. Chief Lawson Omohodi is also a fellow of the Institute of Management Consultants, Nigeria, member, Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, and member, Nigerian Institute of Management. Our keynote speaker is married to a lady, Chief Omohodi, and they are blessed with children and grandchildren. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I present to you speaker today, Sir Chief Lawson Omohodi. Can we give him a round of applause?
It's not be frightened. The paper is very short. I have 30 minutes. I'm not wasting time. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I will align with the protocol already established by the Managing Director and Chief Executive of ITV and Radio, Engineer Wasik. I thank the management of ITV and Radio for inviting me to deliver this keynote address on the 29th Founders Day and 4th Annual Leadership Lecture at the stage. I'm well aware of the positive strides ITV and Radio have taken in the dynamic world of radio and television broadcasting. I commend the management for the forward push to reach the skies. As always, I join numerous admirers of the formidable personality, famously called for the initiative taken 29 years ago that has added to the knowledge builders in the Midwest zone, the country, the South-South region, and all over Nigeria. ITV's broad-based distribution channels and the expansive nature of its live streams makes it one of the most dynamic private TV and radio stations in Nigeria. Thank you for giving us a choice in the day. I wish for the celebration of its ruby anniversary. The theme of this discussion is Nigeria. In English, we call it Covards. In language, in Latin, we call it Covards. It's a Latin expression meaning where are we going? It is tempting to give a quick answer in nowhere. Our journey has been slow, but cumulatively we are making progress. No doubt has been made with the combative political environment. I wanted me to talk PDP, APC, Labour, and all the others, while one is being disturbed. The INEC, and God is not saying what you should say. No, I'm not a politician. So I will not delve into that. But they all form of the discussions. I have opted to address an economic subject matter titled The Paradox of Privatization and Unemployment in Contemporary Nigerian Economy. Economic space was led by four entities. One, the government, through the public enterprises. The second, foreign investors. The third, with big businessmen in Nigeria. Big businessmen, why the fourth? Just petty traders and small and medium-sized enterprises. But two, the foreign operating in Nigeria at the time, the hundreds of foreign-owned companies, including UAC, UTC, Standard Bank, Barclays, BZ, Nestle, Liverpool, and so many. like Nigeria Mining Company, the Cohort of Nigeria, Nigeria Airways, Pujo Automobile, Volkswagen, inland steel rolling mills, motor assembly plants, development authority, commodity boards, NAFCO, Delta Steel Company, Nigeria National Shipping, Newsprint Company, Aluminum Smelting Company, and thousands of others. Companies like this are state and federal levels. When you have companies like this, then you have employment. People are doing jobs, salary, and life is renewed every month when salaries are paid. Then, in 1996, something dramatic happened. I'm sorry, in 1986, something dramatic came up. What was the drama? Nigeria in 1982 ran into stormy economic waters. Huge earnings that came as a result of crude oil sales. The Gulf War crisis, the Arab-Israeli war, gave feed to the oil markets and we made so much. The government did not waste it. The federal and state governments did not waste it. Invested in public set up all these companies across the country. But when the crisis came, Mona Shemshaka immediately set up what they call the Economic Stabilization Act. He managed because debts were being accumulated, debt was supposed to be paid, salaries were being owed, and there were financial problems. We could not even service our loans. So what now happened? He needed some money. But he went to the IMF. He did not conclude this. There was government change in 1983. Babangida came. Before Babangida, he struggled with it through counter-trade. In there, Babangida came, now went to the IMF. He went to the IMF for $2.5 billion. The IMF gave Nigeria $1 billion. There were conditions. This is where the problem came from. These conditions, I will just talk about five or six of them. That there must be currency devaluation. If you already know this, I will take you back and move forward. Trade liberalization, removal of price controls, elimination of government subsidies, reduction of government spending, streamlining of public sector employment, promotion of private sector growth, and privatization of state-owned companies. This is the origin of privatization in Nigeria. You know, why did IMF ask us to privatize? IMF said, IMF, International Monetary Fund, did not team up with the World Bank that called the Bretton Woods. And the government had over-invested in public enterprise. IMF said there was a need to eliminate complex industrial enterprise from the government. It mentioned that Nigeria did not have the skills or incentives to the enterprise. And loss making, and that the private sector will buy up the enterprises, reorganize them, and make them better. And that in the process, more workers will be employed in a better private enterprise. How to be fair? That is where we are. But many people do know, many governments that came after the era, and those years of General Yakubu, know how Nigeria managed to create an environment of prosperity. They did not know. They did not know that IMF the colonial government set up a 10-year development plan to solve problems created by World War II. Just sorry. Was a 10-year plan for development and welfare. Then, post-independence started with the first national development plan, 1968. Second national plan, 1987. National development plan, 4 national development, 1981. That was what it was on privatized of the structural adjustment. Side by side with this development planning, the IMF made a statement that once we take the structural adjustment loan of $1 billion, we must stop the 5-yearly national development plan. That we should not be creative planning. Perspective planning is called rolling plans. You are left at decrease. In the end, that was 72% of the shares of those foreign enterprises. By 1977, they were able to get the opportunity to buy. To call the Nigerian economy an economy of Nigerians, not the economy of Europe and America. The combined effects of the plans and decrees increased Nigerian ownership, job creation, and expanded indigenous executive participation at management levels. And even up to 1979, however, the foreign companies and governments were not over the indigenization exercise in Nigeria. Because their companies have been away from them as well as so they now decreed, the IMF now decreed privatization. Prior to the implementation of the privatization of social in the age group of 50 to 50, considerable jobs was when all these companies, the state, the federal, companies at the state levels, companies at the federal level, when they were privatized, the Bureau for Public Enterprises was set up. That bureau gave a report in 2021. Let me read the report. Just an extract of the report. In this report on July 12, 2021, the Director General of Bureau of Public Enterprises announced that between the years 1989 and 2018, a total of 134 public enterprises were priced, and the federal government realized the sum of 1 trillion naira from privatization. Where did the money go? How many enterprises were set up thereafter? Not one. But as you privatize jobs, the affected privatized sectors in agriculture, 32 companies, banking and finance, 31, cement, 15, energy, construction and services, 14, hotels, 13, paper and packaging, 4, sugar companies, for 1, notable enterprises like the mining company, the cocoa, like the railways, PAN, Volkswagen Nigeria, now all those I have mentioned earlier were all privatized. And that is, yes, it started as a solution. To our economic problems. And that is where our paradox came from. What was thought is solution around to become is a problem. This is how the development of Nigerian youth developed. The full revenge which they have taken is now extended on the first. But there is a complication. By the IMF debate, please those who can reach government, you are you did. By the IMF debate, on that side, privatization agenda 40 years now. Indeed, the enterprises identified by the IMF in 1986 will rise and identified by them. So, possibility that future and unknown publics have been part of the IMF privatization network. Nigeria, it therefore means that neither the IMF nor the forbade Nigeria for setting up public enterprises to boost its economy, grow its GDP, and provide jobs for its people. But maybe body language was used to tell Nigeria don't touch those things. The Nigerian government has wallowed in ignorance for 40 years. As a professional who has gone through both the public and private sector, I may be able to tell you more that the private sector alone has successfully done. In the First Republic and up to 1986, being years of the first 5 military dictatorship in Nigeria, public enterprises coexisted with the private sector to develop Nigeria. As of 2021, Nigeria saw a job as 3%. That rate is now 4.3%. The jobless rate at the time had about 4 million Nigerians unemployed before the SARS. But when today, 2026, we measure the unemployment rate at 4.6%. We actually now have about 80 million Nigerians. 80 million Nigerians jobless. you ask me, how come the rate is low and they are more Nigerian? They changed the method of calculating employment. It was from the Nigerian statistics to this. They added underemployed with the fully employed and funded. They are supposed to do 40 hours a week to be classified as full-time. But if you now do 30 minutes, 1 hour a week, government says you are public enterprise to the rescue. The Constitution represents the need of development and mandates both public and private enterprises to operate in the economy. Public enterprises can be of 4 different classes. Companies under the CAC, companies with government minority participation, and companies with majority government participation. In Chapter 2, Article 16, how to form this description in the Constitution. How the public sector should work side by side with the private sector. Some examples. The people tell us in government today that government has no business in business. Even those selfish private sector participants who want to take more and more of government enterprises tell you government has no business. The private sector cannot do more government. Public enterprises build companies and economies of Europe, of Asia, of Brazil, the old industrial Yugoslavia, of China, Argentina, Latin American countries. In prosperity, most of those enterprises are public enterprises. The aviation sector governments take a lot of interest in taking shares in the aviation sector. British Airways, Qatar, Etihad, many of those companies now public sector companies. You know, Embraer, the company that is owned by public enterprise. There's a company that has done very well called the Nigerian Liquefied National Gas Company. It is owned by Nigeria and companies from Shell, Total, and N plus NHC. They own Nigeria and they have done extremely well. Public enterprises. What are the impact on the economy is very significant. They drive infrastructure, provide an organized environment for planning and execution of the plans already drawn up, are able to maintain control over key sectors. These are essential services like electricity, water, and transportation. They collect government and taxes and provide decent jobs. There's a new initiative in Africa called ACTA, for African Continental Free Trade. If we must dominate AFTA, put to the economy of Nigeria, public enterprises need to be generated so that we can penetrate AFTA. This market is 1.4 billion people and is expected to turn into a $7 billion market by 2035. In mining, if imagine the mining sector, all of it is because public enterprise, government is not in mining. That has been left to public enterprise, the private sector. I want to leave a gold rush to the private sector, you will get a disaster. So that is why many of these states are at war. Before such mining, there are before mines in Nigeria. There are states. Of such mines. But then in gold rush, there is murder, people fight, blood is shed, and there's total corruption. So we need governments at state, local governments, federal government to partner with foreign partners, to partner with Nigerians in the house, to partner with Nigerians, foreign governments in mining, so that the benefits of those mineral resources can come to Nigeria, like oil does. Right now, there's so much more disaster in the NNPC and the oil industry in Nigeria. A lot of money is still coming from there. But if you do not organize or control mining, there will be crisis, there will be insecurity, and there will be no money. In conclusion, no one can build Nigeria. It is the Nigerians, both the leaders and the led, who will build Nigeria. We have all the ingredients to grow, but have allowed poor thinking to drive our educated youth away. It is sad that our young ones who have escaped from our country go to foreign lands to work in enterprises owned wholly or partially by governments in those countries. As of today, funds that we use to serve businesses at state levels are ending up in private pockets of some state governors as security votes. And at the end of each monthly statutory allocation, huge dollar holdings are acquired at the parallel market. Also, solid huge funds at the federal government level are being used to award major contracts and to pay off agencies of government. I encourage to do the video of this. Still, this and this structure is saying there's no business in the billions of naira being embezzled by these people and give them for any good end. These are most things that may arrive in return. Both return. Let's just
Independent television is 29. Hooray! The foremost and leading media outfit has on March 27, 2026, marked its 29 years of existence. Wow! In this regard, ITV Radio is putting up a lecture series that will be answering that question. Quo Vadimos, Nigeria, where are we going? So come be part of a brainstorming lecture series as erudite intellectuals are expected to be part of this year's lecture. Chief host, His Excellency Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osawau Igbinedion, the Esama of Benin. Keynote speaker, Sir Chief Lawson Omokodion, former Pro-Chancellor and Chairman Governing Council, Ambrose Ali University, Ekboma. Panelist, Honorable Kasim Afeboa, Commissioner of Information and Strategy, Edo State. Dr. Mrs. Loretta Oduwari Ogboroko, Director General, Edo State Diaspora Agency. Professor Marcel Okaku, Dean Faculty of Communication and Media Studies, University of Benin. Dr. Victor Okai, United Nations Humanitarian Ambassador and Senior Vice President, Diaspora Capital Advisor, LLC. Venue, Eizwa Hall, opposite ITV Glasshouse, Airport Road, Benin.
Fellow, Certified International Professional Advertising Practitioner Council of
can exist side by side. And that in itself, I want to posit this morning, ladies and gentlemen, is the hybrid solution to where Nigeria is going. And to get this achieved, we must leverage on our human capital alongside it. Because Nigerians will fix Nigeria. Where are these Nigerians? They are that force that reside within Nigeria, and we must leverage our diaspora. Because it is when we bring these people in and we work hand in hand with them, we don't see them as a threat that will make progress. They come, they establish companies right from the start, through the value chain, to finish products and meet standards that can be exported. That way, you acquire your locals, you trap in your IGR and your foreign reserves, and you make progress. We may not have the main skills, like in mining, which was an example, to do those things at the moment, but we can leverage on our skills outside and get the investors to come inside and do a model applicable to us. They do corporate transfer, they CPE, and in the long run, that will benefit our economy.
Thank you. I want to pick up on something she said, which is talking about the issue of human capital. And the keynote speaker said privatization has impoverished Nigerian youths and made them unemployed. I'd like your thoughts on that.
Let me thank ITV for this opportunity. Let me also commend the management for deeming it fit and proper to assemble us to interrogate the subject matter of Nigeria, where we go. It's an omnibus question that is so versatile that the keynote speaker will not have been able to exhaust all the dynamics of that subject matter. But he has chosen a topic or an aspect of it that has to do with public and private sector subject area while offering his thoughts. To say that privatization has impoverished Nigeria will be to defeat the very essence of why we are here in terms of ITV. A man talks about liberalizing the media space and offers licenses to broadcasting stations. ITV, number one, AIT, Channels TV. And ITV just told us they have 254 employees when the NBO was rolling out. That means privatization has also created a platform to absorb Nigerian graduates and who went ahead to invite the midwives, those who started the ITV trade. And it is like that in so many other platforms created by IDP, a man who I spoke for like 22 to 33 years. I've interpreted all of this subject matter. I'm always very particular when I discuss that regime because, yes, you will blame me that he brought Nigeria into the valuation of the currency, structural adjustment program, and several of all those IMF and Bretton Woods institutions. But as at the time he was taking over the country, he couldn't have acted differently because even America, when were in recession and were mopping up their dollars. So when you want to attract the foreign exchange, you must build platforms that can earn you foreign exchange. You must grow your agriculture, exportable commodities that you can sell at the international market for you to get foreign exchange. So the celebration and the Eldorado pre-IVD was no longer sustainable. That is one. Two, we talked about privatization, public institutions. He built Transcontinental Hotel. It's about the most profitable hotel in the entire world. For 5 years, they maintained the lead in the international building hotels worldwide. Somebody built it, but another government privatized it. So what I will advocate for is a deliberate and conscious policy of continuity of government institutions, particularly those that have direct impact on the well-being of the people. And that also takes me to the aspect of the keynote speaker's discourse on the issue of politics. Chief Omoholo has a very legendary trajectory in the business world. But people always make the mistake of taking away the political architecture from our well-being as people. Because when corrupt govern you, they won't give you the kind of privatization you want, or the public institutions you want. They will still government money and all of that. So, in driving this transition, you must deliberately and consciously make sure you balance your political architecture as well as your governance model and your governance architecture. So that when there is stability, the man who leads you can sit back and think outside the box to generate policies and programs that will address key challenges of everyday life. The point you try to do is that the same another. Sir, it is always good for us to discuss those dilemmas. Because that is the recruitment platform of the man who will tomorrow be your president, lawmaker, House of Assembly, and governors. And when you mention the issue of security growth, this is who have security force. So, my advice to me, or my suggestion opinion, would be that as much as we enjoy something wrong, symbiotic romance between public and private sector, the good people should please get into politics. A lot of this of them get into politics. If you ask right from what was and senior brother here, he will tell you what the dynamics are in this regard within the political space. If you don't get it right, you will generate that will be able to interrogate the beauty of what we have found. I've been a political officer. I'm a aluminium cementing company in the Cotabato. I'm sure you are aware of that. There's something called a pittance. You know, all about the government, there's something called a pittance. It will be people me, you will never get important in spring for me to go back. Producing new spring. You know, so many don't care about it. So there are quite a number of public institutions that will so take away when you have no insurance today. It's not. What was happening in the same private sector, what also profit. So you need strong human capital development, which is also why at every point in time, I'd like to also always look at the human dimension to our problems. You and me. We are the problem of Nigeria with you and me. Because when you tell an average Nigerian this is way to follow, and we are following. Just one little distraction, the whole thing is off.
That's a good news.
So I will come back to other issues when we raise the question.
Thank you. You talked about human capital development, as opposed to GDP, talked about human capital index for measuring if you like, progress of the country. I'm going to be looking at, I want us to do a little bit of comparative analysis right now. The next thing we're going to go to, Prof, you've lived and worked in America, and you're working here as well. America is purely capitalist. We are sort of mixed because we have a mix of both. And yet America is, outside is, yeah, you might say so, one of the most developed, advanced economies in the world. Why do you think that is? We followed a presidential system. What did we get wrong? Or what are we not doing right? What is America doing right? Or what are we doing better than America? What is America doing better than us? I'd like to get that perspective from you in relation to the issue at hand and where we're going.
Thank you very much. I think it's difficult to do a direct comparison between America and Nigeria. For many and obvious reasons.
Sorry, let me just narrow the question a bit. Why are the institutions working or as strong as they are? And what are the fault lines in our own institutions? Seeing that we borrow the same system of government, we are to a large extent without privatization and all capitalists as well. So what are the fault lines? Because we want to look at it pointing to the future. I don't know if that has narrowed it down a bit.
True. Correct. And let me begin by saying something that Steve Covey has emblematized in my person. He says, begin with the end in view. And if you begin with the end in view, you will see your way through to that very end that you want to get to. You don't blow that away. You are intentional, you are focused, and you drive that effort. Yes, we practice the same geographical government type, presidential system of government. Yes, we move from elementary colonial to this newfound democracy that we are preaching and practicing, so to speak, even if we have a variant of democratic practice. So this is where it all begins. What my friend calls ethnic championism. Ethnic championism. Everybody wants to have his or her brother there, not minding whether the big picture is being promoted. Is the reason why Council Mafia was appointed commissioner and people from his village will take out a full page advert in the newspaper. They will organize a reception in his honor. I think and then you ask yourself, what is the real thing? Why are people doing this? Somebody is willing to spend 40 million naira to organize a party for that man. The man started accumulating, assuming he doesn't buy Gary, doesn't buy Rupi, doesn't buy anything. He's not even up to 20 million naira in a year. Yes, they are willing to spend 40 million naira at his home. as they say, when you use a boat to serve a trap in Nigeria or in Africa, you are not expecting to catch a rabbit. You are looking for an elephant to catch. So, to go back to the presence, we are not ourselves left to ourselves, and which is one of the things I said earlier, that we set up policies and they are not driven exclusively. They are driven with all kinds of material motives. When that happens, you do not achieve the same result. I give you another phase of the conversation. We have seen in that same country, presidents come and go, and they make their rules, they make their policies. The people are like us. If they believe in you, they'll follow you. If they don't believe in you, they will also trash you. We can see right now that the momentum is changing. Even those who believe in market at the beginning are no longer sharing the market philosophy. But here, we don't switch that easily. Because, as somebody says, in Nigeria, we are bifurcated into two groups. Those who are currently stealing the people dry and are benefiting, and those who have not had the opportunity yet, but are waiting to have the opportunity to also steal the people dry and benefit. Once you are divided into these two groups, we're going to have the same answer. You can't do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, as that tells us. So, to answer your question, there is a need for reorientation. We need to change our attitude, we need to change our policies, we need to change the way we behave, the way we do things. And this is why they say, go back to the curriculum of the early days in school. The children in primary school should be taught the ethics of living in a decent and civilized society. In our time, when we left university, jobs were available to be taken. Today, the jobs are not available to be taken. But what do you now find? The boys have created new jobs for themselves. And what is this new job? The Yahoo and the rest of it. No parents, and I'm sorry if I'm being exaggerating. Okay, some parents, now most parents now, don't ask their children the sources or source of their wealth. They just encourage you to go get it. Can't you see what John is doing? Why are you not doing it yourself? We have situations where we have been told that some parents have told their daughters, please see Mary just went and do this, go and do the same. So we must change our orientation.
Thank you very much. We must change our orientation. I'm going to begin to step into some very controversial areas now. Yes, so you are from the diaspora. I've done quite a lot of work with this. I'm from Edo State. Yes, obviously, yes. You're rooted here. Exactly. So the question is, I have met a lot of investors. Leave foreign investors. Let's talk about even diasporans. And gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, listen to me very carefully. Who are willing, and I want to take this from something the keynote speaker said. When he talked about what is working, he gave the NLNG example. And I remember we talked about it. Yes, the private organization, but it works because it's not just NLNG alone. There are 3 other partners. Am I correct, sir? So it looks like the ones that work are the ones where there is proper governance structure, where there are people where people cannot take the decision alone. Our politicians alone cannot take the decision. I'm heading somewhere, madam. I've met people in the diaspora and I've met many foreign investors who want to come and invest in Nigeria. But guess what the problem is? They are bringing something to your state and they speak to the people who are in government. And the people in government say, what is my own in it? Some of them want as much as even 70% of something they are 1 naira is not in. Am I right or am I right? And so they don't mind if you like take it elsewhere. They are that blunt. If you don't really take it whenever I want to take it, I don't care. It's about me, myself, and what? It's a big problem. It's also a challenge for you as a DG for diaspora here. How do we attract foreign investors? Because you're talking about diaspora, we're talking about money from outside. So it's not just about Nigerians from the outside. We might still come to the Nigerians. About bringing investment into this country, not just for, whether as PPP, whether as BOT, sorry, I don't like talking abbreviation, so I'm talking about public-private participation where government and the public and private sector participate, or build, operate, and transfer the come.
I'm wondering why, for instance, in a state like Edo, I think railway is now in the concurrent list. Am I correct? Why, for instance, can we not attract, using BOT, a Chinese company and say, do railway instead of moving along the road there. Railway across the road of Edo State. Do enjoy your money for 50 years after letting it come back to Edo people. Would that benefit us or not? But probably because they are not benefiting anything directly. No, I'm coming. They were killing. The reason I usually don't talk, I'm just setting the tune for it. Why is that an issue and what can we really do? Because government, we're looking at the way forward. You're there, you're here. Tell us. See, am I right about the problem and what can we do about it?
Thank you very much. We will be economical in the truth if we do not accept the fact that you are right with the problem. However, we also be doing ourselves a disservice if we say the problem started right now and we must solve it right now. The gradual decadence of our shared patrimony has started occurring way back, and to fix it is not going to be a sprint, but it's a marathon, a collective marathon for all of us. I remember when I was growing up, there's something my father used to tell me. Away and I found photo of the knee. I have enjoyed. Translated, if we all settle down together to dissect an ant, we shall find the heart. And they also used to tell me, Otuwa, Reta, Keke, Bujo, Yere, Omamobiel. That means anywhere you go, remember whose daughter you are. Please, ladies and gentlemen, hold those two thoughts because I'm coming back to it. To answer your question, where are we going with these kind of things we find? Let's take Edo State as a case in time. People that are preparing Edo State is shining, and they don't even know what led to that. Is that actually the acronym SHINE? S-H-I-N-E. And simply you standing for S security, H healthcare, I infrastructure, N nutrition and natural resources, and of course E education, which have been brought forth by the current government to say these are areas we want to focus on. And they carefully chosen it. Nobody, Nigeria or otherwise, will come and invest in a place that is not secure. So because we have taken radical measures, sometimes we were able to spread them to ensure that it stays safe. And there are powerful pieces to that right now. That yes, we are getting there, we are working progress. The problem that I have seen, and I will not be honest, is the sustenance of these kind of policies or actions. The sustainability is short-lived, and we must actually point out the fact that government is a consumer. That leadership in itself does not just fall on those who are in those positions, but it also falls on all the citizens. We are all shared owners of our common patrimony. Whatever is happening, we must engage. Leadership must prioritize integrity and long-term vision. So when my father used to tell me, remember whose daughter you are, he was preparing me for service to know that anywhere I am, I have a long-term vision that includes the people. And we must also be very, very decisive, deliberate to create institutions and not strong men and women. That's what makes me fall short. A man comes in, has a beautiful idea, government today, and tomorrow another person comes and wipes it out. Our environment of thought that this is not going to attract those investors. Plus, it is going to create a loophole for those who invest. Then we must also, as citizens, move from thinking to participation. And the principle is wonderful. The more people we have that come into the political space, the more accountability and transparency there will be. That is when you are able to have 4 people say, you shouldn't be asking for how much you will get first, but you must be ensuring that the project is completed and benefits the people. It's all about the quality of life of the people. And my dad also used to tell me, never be afraid to be the left-handed person in a right-handed world. But what we see today is that everybody wants to be a right-handed person in a right-handed world. No matter how bad that right-handed world may be, no matter what that right-handed world, as it's perceived, is inflicting on the people. So when investors come and people are demanding their costs, then you become a low voice in the wilderness when you start saying she will turn the other way. And ladies and gentlemen, what these people fail to understand is that monies can still be made by adding value to human life. There are billionaires and trillionaires in the world today who make money from genuine investments. There are people who will come and start companies that will outlive generations. Take a simple example. If you've ever graduated from any school in the United Kingdom, I'll tell you today that the academic gowns you wear is a family business by 2 or 3 families that employ a lot of labor. But they're making their business and adding value to human life. If I come together now with you, boss, and we establish a cassava factory, and we employ thousands of people in our local government area, we will still make money. So we must have a paradigm shift in how we think when we get to this position. And finally, I want to hang up by saying that we must think about equity. Equity and excellence. Policies that translate into growth must be excellence and equity focused. It should not be built on mediocrity. And a practical example I will give to you. A man will kill an investment and say he does not care when his brain is focused on mediocrity and relaxing or delayed gratification. And this starts from the family. That's true. It's not just your reality one, 21 chop. Think of tomorrow and bring in excellence. Don't bring in people because I'm bringing a 75-year-old man to drive government buses because his
I'm like happy. There's so much from on your side. It's a better, I'm going to the media right now, and so, sir, you're very much experienced in this area. And the media has a very important role as watchdog, as gatekeepers, and as people who shape society. It has been argued that one of the problems to the media event, I'm not talking about Itv, one and all, but we are speaking truth here, trying to see how we shape a better Nigeria. That some have argued, so it may not, it's not conclusive, that part of the problems of Nigeria is that we have some in the media who are just praise singers. Things go wrong, they cannot speak truth to power because, as they say, it is bad manners to talk while chopping. I don't know if you heard what I'm saying. Mouth when they chop, when they talk. That some of them, because of what they eat, they cannot talk. How can the media help to shape governance, to shape our body policy and Nigeria's development going forward?
Well, I think you deliberately want to put me on the hot spot because you know that what I do for leader is media consultants. But again, we must go to the roots of the problem. And Paul mentioned it. But Loretta also mentioned that that has to do with the issue of our attitude, our orientation, our political leaning, and above all, our sense of humanity. The main problem of a country of several multiplicities like Nigeria, with over 470 languages, is that we display loyalty to our clannish configurations than the national configuration. I will appreciate Elvis, for example, for being part of my part of Nigeria, what we do in London, than to appreciate someone else from another state, because perhaps I can communicate with them in local life. And that same mentality and attitude go into our behavioral tendencies, where we have opportunity to penetrate the national identity. And I'll break it down. You see, my two other co-parents, we asked them about some of these factors negatively against growth, development, investment, to bring money and other life to happen. The same mentality in us that is not driving that sense of patriotism is the same thing we want happening because why government is building during the day, thieves are going on railway tracks to remove the slippers, the metal slippers of the railway. They will go and sell them, you build good road, you use metal to cover up the manholes. At night, they remove everything. So, if the individual is not conscious that he has a civic obligation to be patriotic to interventions of government, such that he benefits a wide range for the kind of stand they take oftentimes. I remember during the Shomole, as an advisor of media and legal commissioner for information, I had a lot of authorities from, I think, a city manager, and not this entity. He mentioned the issue of closing down the ITV. Well, because it's a political reason, it was a professional misconduct, which the ITV realized and corrected themselves. But the point I want to make, using them as point of contact, is that even though ITV will be on the partnership with government, it doesn't stop them from balancing a lot of things. You will not like them for that, but they will do that. And that should be the expectation of an average media platform. But again, in the journalism school, they will ask you, this is the messenger, this is the medium, this is the proprietor, the owner. You, the messenger, you are operating in the medium, but when you have the proprietor's interest, will you be able to look him in the face and put him up when it is the case? That is how to balance the issue of media and society. Alright, because the media are operating in the same environment where you have favoritism, go-fatherism, communalism, my uncle, my cousin, my brother, my sister, so that even when you get the opportunity to serve the government, to make the point that Paul was referencing, they will want to go and organize party and all of that. And if you don't steal money and come back home to kill cow to celebrate, like Batman, please don't kill cow for me to celebrate. Thank you very much. Now, Prof, we have very little time in the last, where the time runs very fast, we've not been able to do too much, but it's important at this stage to be able to begin to profile solutions and directions. It is often said that while people might argue that government has no business in business, others will say that if government provides an enabling environment, then that would be, I'll give you a small example just to say. I was in Rwanda. I went there to do, I was invited by government to do training for their people. And then in the same hotel where I was, downstairs was where the training hall was. Classes would usually start at 9. I left the hotel at around 8 a.m. or just before 8. Went to the Rwanda Business Council. Believe it or not, I went there, registered a business. The certificate was printed. This company. The certificate was printed. I came back to the class before 9 a.m. The only thing I got around 12 was my tax ID. Okay? I was shocked. But even they were shocked when I told them that a Nigerian has come and registered a business in your country. Because they didn't even, you understand, that they have so much opportunity, they didn't realize. But they told me something. When you make it so easy, you don't have gatekeepers along the way, making things difficult to register business. You must have lawyers in between. You must have so many people, and then you have to pay so much. What is the role of enabling environment? Just if you can do that in a minute or two, I really appreciate it. I know it's very short, but in the last, I'm less than 5 minutes now. So if you can do that, the role of enabling an enabling environment in facilitating growth by economy.
Thank you very much. For short, a means of doing business, which Osibanjo, in his time as Vice President, tried to push in his Buhari administration. And the beauty of doing business is that it opens you up to to get this business done because the template is there. Once you meet the template, your business will be registered. But that's not what it is yet because of the issues that we have already outlined. People want to be gratified for doing nothing. Corruption. And so, as one Nigerian leader said, if we do not kill corruption, corruption will kill us. That's what we got.
Thank you very much. Now, the next one, another table one will shake here. MD, I don't know why Customs and Immigration are not here. They're in every state. But some of the forces are here as well. I thank God for military and paramilitary. They do a lot for us. But these are all partners. As we come from the diaspora, bringing in money, bringing in equipment. Let me share another true life example. And I'm sure you have several cases before I finish. I was involved in one where we wanted to bring medical equipment to this country. I can't even begin to mention, they were from UCLA. I also went to UCLA, I studied film there as well. The medical school, they were to bring, these were things working very well, so many equipment. This is why eventually diverted to other countries because we had problems trying to get permit to bring these things in. They say, no, you must, it was a big problem. What can we do about this?
You see, when we have this discussion, it looks like no place is big, but it is not. Where do we go from here? We don't itemize the problem, and this is a peculiar war. Nigeria may be drifting, Nigeria may be struggling, but what is happening is because of the choices we are
Ugewe is the final ceremony of the series of festivals. It is one of peace and lightheartedness, following the more solemn of the ritual year. Ugewe is the festival of the Ewe leaves, a symbol of good luck and joy. It is the most popular of all that heralds the dawn of a Benin New Year, new vow, newness of life and freshness of life, and a new hope for the future. In the evening, the Ewe leaves are presented to the Oba of Benin in grand style in a colorful ceremony. The Ihogbe society, amidst singing and dancing, bring the sacred leaves that symbolize good luck, blessings, peace, and prosperity. Each of the senior members of the Ihogbe proceeds to give the sacred leaves directly to the Oba of Benin, and others put theirs at his feet.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.